Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami.
Hey, I'll do it for him since he's not here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. G ain't here. G ain't here. I'm trolling. G not here. G not here. But thank you guys for showing up to the post-game show. It's your girl Tiff, and I'm accompanied by my girl Bon. Bon, you know what
What's
we
up,
do.
Tiff? Come on, let's get into it. Hey, Tiff. Hey, people. Hey, Carla Tiana.
We got Frankie
Let's
behind the
get it.
scenes producing, just so y'all know
Shout out
tonight.
Frankie.
All right, so we just gonna jump right on into this Heat win. All right, hit me off real quick. Tell me what you think about Tyler's scoring output these last two nights.
Like, it's really so, and I don't take back any. I don't feel no type of way. I still like the thing with him is what it boils down to is he's going to shine wherever he's going to shine at.
Right.
Like he has such a skill set. He has such a talent. He has such the tools that it doesn't matter kind of where you put him. To an extent, he's going to shine. He's going to show.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as he's playing within, like not even playing within, like just he's just going to stand out. And so take nothing away from him and
Right.
don't take back anything that, how I said, how I feel or whatever. But it's just been really, really fun to watch the maturation process, the different recognition. He has such a silky kind of handle. Like he has the things to get to the places. And it's just been fun to watch.
Right.
He looks like he's having fun. It's fun to see him. And so like, hoop, Tyler, like keep going. This shit is fun. Let's keep winning with it. But like,
and that's what I was right. I was just about to say that. I love the scoring. I love the outbursts, and I love the joy that he's playing with.
Right.
But keep it with the W's. Let's keep it with the wins.
I needed to stay with the wins.
That's it. So and it's the funniest thing because when you watch him now, as opposed to the last couple of seasons, he looks fluid.
Yeah. I feel like he's getting easier shots just by letting the catch and shoots come. I feel the same way.
Yes.
Yes, Tiffany, he does look fluid. It's the balance. He's stronger in his hips. His handle is tighter. The box in which he can kind of operate in is a little smaller. The handle's not as loose. And so, he's just out there just like meandering through goddamn traffic, like playing Frogger. And like having that ability, but then also letting the catch and shoots come to him, letting the defense kind of fly by a bit, being willing to attack and already bent, defense balls moving.
Right.
All of that is just going to facilitate even easier scoring for him. More conservation of energy. You just continue to see good him within the context of everything else.
Right. Because, and I know it's on the record that you and I both said a healthy Tyler Hero, this Heat team beats the Celtics last year in that game 7.
Oh, yeah. I felt that way the entire series. Like Boston's defense is good, but it's the way that they play and align their defense. They leave that little middle pocket area that people are so hesitant to take now. They leave that open and that space was there. So we couldn't crack it from 3, but those pockets were there. And Tyler had the skill set last year with the regular dribble pull up with that the like one-legged little floater runner he has.
Right.
And so, I definitely, he has, again, the tools that would have been useful to try to crack open a lot of that, just all the shit in Boston.
Right. Because I think the thing that we've seen the last 2 nights that he's gotten to work on is all the things. The catch and shoot, the pull up, the midi. Like he's showing us all the things because realistically, when this team is whole, he's not giving us 35 every night consistently.
And that is, fine.
We have to be, because we have to be honest with ourselves. If it's whole, there's a lot of people who need shots. But what he's doing is when it's whole, he can get in where he fits in.
That's all he has to do. Again, that's the beauty and the curse with being of the talent on this team. He is one of them, and so that's what comes with that. And then whatever, but like, just you can do it.
Right. No, and I the one thing I will say is that I think for him, there's a corner that's being turned. I'm not going to say as the
Okay.
team, but I will say
Okay.
for him and his
That's
skill
fair.
set, what he's able to do. Um, and I think that his arrogance on offense is actually helping his defense.
It is. He's amping himself up. He's keeping
Mm-hmm.
himself hype enough to where his
Right,
effort is disturbing enough.
right,
What's
right.
is that is that corner that he's turning for you? What's the
Listen,
corner?
you know how it is. You know how it is. That sometimes we ignore that stop sign. Um, but I agree. I think that this has been this has been kind of I won't say coming out party because he's been here, but this has been a sort of a coming out party for a guy who has been injured the last couple of years, who this team
Yeah.
has rightfully so needed, and he hasn't been there. So I feel
Yeah.
like he's showing that I'm here, I'm healthy, and this is what I can do.
And I'll back Reeses. Should Tyler be coming off the bench? 1 second. I think that's kind of what we're talking, or at least that's what I've been saying this kind of whole time. Like, even so, what did he have tonight? 40 something, whatever. We won
Right,
by 3, right? Again,
right.
it's not his fault, but like,
The
it's
distribution
not
of
his fault that the offense
points.
is. Yes, and again, it's not his fault, but he has the things to where he is kind of plug and play offensively with
Right,
whatever machination of this
right,
roster you could kind of throw out. You would hope so, and so if it
right.
helps the team out back threes, then why not?
Well, and I think also that people have to come to their senses and understand if someone is saying it doesn't necessarily mean they're calling him trash, doesn't necessarily mean
No,
they're calling him a bum, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's a demotion. Sometimes there's more than just shade to an argument.
yeah, yeah, like I'm not just trying to play you. Like, damn, no, I don't have no beef. For like,
Right.
damn, can you help us out this
But
way if this
but
is what it
but the
calls
problem
for?
is it's too many people on Twitter, it's too many people out in the world who basically they're basically bucket boys. They're walking around carrying his water instead of actually
It's
looking
weird.
at what's best for the team.
And there's a way to do it without like, I don't know. I want to say without even really picking sides. Like, you
Right.
do it in the like amplification of his game and how he is playing, what he does look like, and
Right.
like, damn, I really wish I could have this in one of these holes that I needed in it, son. But
Right.
the rotations and all of that, Spo's been playing with. So hit the poltergeist them. This is a lot of threes by Tyler though. How do you feel about that? Is it
Um
sustainable? Is
it's not
it
sustainable. It's not.
Why not?
But the threes in which he's taking, a lot of them
Okay.
are off kilter. A lot of them are fading away.
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of them are just let me see if I'm cooking kind of threes.
Okay.
So he gets a couple of shots and then all of a sudden you see him hoist the next 3 to 4 threes in a row.
Right.
I don't think the rate in which he's hitting them are sustainable because he's going to come back to earth, at some point.
Right.
But can he keep getting good looks? Of course he can. Look who you're
Hmm.
playing with. So you can keep getting the
Hmm.
good looks. I don't think he's gonna I don't think he's gonna be shooting 7 or 8 a game. Like that's just, you know, is Chef Curry doing that? Like, and he's not Steph Curry. So, and we're not gonna pretend he is, and we're not gonna act like all these things. Like we've seen Tyler excel at threes, and then we've seen him all of a sudden fall off. And that's what happens with shooters. But can he keep getting good looks? Yeah, he'll keep getting good looks. I don't think he's going to keep making 6, 7, 8 a game. I don't think that's going to. I don't. And it's also the Heat. The Heat's offense, and we see them slide back into the mud. So
Well, that's the thing, right?
what could keep him from doing it is the initial offense.
I was just about to say, so coming into the game, Tyler's averaging 7.8 threes a game, and I'm fine with that. And so, even as a whole team, I want him, I think, nightly somewhere
Right.
between, yeah, like 6 to 9, and I think
Right.
that's okay. And I don't know exactly what percentage I want him hitting at, but I don't. he is really lethal. He's a really, really good shooter for them. He's a good motion shooter.
Right.
But I don't consider him one of their shooters. And I don't mean that with any type of disrespect, again, because he can do a variety of other things.
Right.
Is it sustainable? If they ran some stuff today where they actually ran some stuff today, no, I can't live. I'm sorry. I don't do bits. I don't like bits.
Right.
I can't. Pretentious. It makes my head hurt. I be thinking people telling the truth. They be joking. I be thinking jokes are truths. I don't know. 3 of 7 of 8, right at 39% coming into tonight. So I don't know what coming back down to earth is necessarily, but if they continue to run things where it's dynamic on kind of both sides, then maybe, I'm cool with, this.
I think the attempts, I've always said I want him at 10 attempts a game. When I say come back to earth, I mean the makes.
I think if he's shooting 10, I think I can pencil him in for 4. So I think if he can stay, I don't know,
if he can stay there, shooting percentage then
is.
Right. If he can stay around there, that's good for them. But like we both just said, are they going to keep running this offense as to where those looks are there?
I think they should. I think they have to.
Because what else they got?
I'm not reading all of that.
No,
I would love to read all that.
Yeah. That's real good or that's real bad. Sorry to that man.
Damn, I was about to actually try to read it.
Go ahead.
More excited, showing the willingness to shoot off the catch. Yes. His shooting comes and goes. He's not making things more difficult for himself right now, which isn't always. I agree. Like shooting off the catch, being off the ball,
right,
letting things happen over here on this side of the floor, but we're also running shit over here. And so he came to like a walk-in 3, maybe on 2 of 3 possessions, like back to back. And so stuff like that, if he can continue to get his legs under him, he has good balance, he has good form. Like I don't see why if he's taking 9 to 10 a game, 7 to 10 a game, that I can't pencil him for 4.
Well, let's be realistic. Like he should be taking, he should be taking 10. If Duncan's in there, he should be taking how many? If you get it, shoot it. Max, you get it, shoot it. Gabe, Kyle, like they have to shoot those shots.
Yes,
Hamish,
I agree.
I'm real happy for you.
Stuff today.
Yeah, listen, Hamish did a lot of good things. And speaking of good things or bad things, right? Euphemism for wonder? Is that you? Okay, I'm happy for you, or I'm sorry to hear that.
Whichever.
This is how it's gonna roll. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this offensive talk and we're gonna roll right into Bond's breakdowns.
Oh, come on. Okay, so pause. So Frankie. Okay. Oh damn, me and Frankie gotta practice our cadence. This is gonna be fun. So this first one is like Orlando defensively. Real, quick. I just like his feet. I don't know if we were going to get into some Orlando stuff, but he like makes the initial cutoff. Go ahead, Frankie. And then he switches his feet so he doesn't continue to get beat. And then the good poke. And I just thought that was really good. I thought he looked pretty good in the drop for him tonight. He's mobile. He's big. He's stout. Explosive enough. Like I like his minutes. So
you know what I like about him in that even just this one play. Notice his head. It is not on a swivel. He is focused. He is paying attention, and he's not worried about what's over here because the man and the ball are in front of him. And I like that. He doesn't look nervous. He doesn't look like he's literally just trying to be out there. Like he's literally making a play, and that's it.
And
look
it's
how
a guard
subtle.
with him.
Yes, but look how subtle.
It's getting his feet back together.
Yes,
like
see his reach,
quick, small, boom. Yes,
yeah.
Like
I like that.
I enjoyed his minutes tonight. Okay, so go ahead, Frankie. Now we're gonna get into some of the offense. So we just move it. Pause. So Max, Orlando 2-man game. A lot of these are how they kind of were using Orlando, just as not necessarily a focal point, but like a target, just like someone there, a live body in the post. So he gets this good pick and roll with Max. This is a hard roll. Whoever's guarding Jimmy right here is focused on Orlando because it's a good, strong roll. Jimmy's able to slide through the back. Go ahead, Frankie. Just like stuff like this.
And for y'all that's wondering, but for people who are wondering, we always say Jimmy just looks lethargic, but this is, look, sharp cut. He keeps moving right until he gets the ball. Those are those little moments where you see Jimmy doing those little things and you're like, oh, you still with us.
Go ahead, Frankie. Same thing, just some action, some motion. Pause. So Max drives and kick. He's gonna hit this to Hamish. Is this the one where I thought it is? It was. So pause. Hayward could have shot this. If you run it from the beginning, Hayward could have shot this, but I'm also looking at Orlando's activity inside. Hamish doesn't shoot, doesn't dribble, doesn't anything. Go ahead. Orlando, boom. Has a decent enough seal. I think Hayward probably could have gotten it, tried to squeeze it in there. I don't know if he's a caliber of passer for that, but just like attention and a presence, right in here. Open. Yep. No. Okay. Move it to the top, high, low. Open. Not even a seal because dude just kind of left me. Yep. Just open. Go ahead, Tiffany.
And asking for the ball. I love that. Putting his hand up for the ball.
What is this? Oh, yes. Like, hey, open. Like, I can do it. Yes. Give it to me. Is this the next one? Okay, Paul. So, like, go ahead, run it again. Coming back down, just, it's not a lot or not super quick. Clearing out, right side, clear out, roll. Good, come to the ball. You get blocked off, but we're still moving. Drive. Jimmy, move. This is what I kind of want to talk about. Frankie, we talk about this all the time. Like, people are driving. He could have made a little eye cut. He could have slid up the lane a bit, just made that pocket, but just standing there. Everything else is great motion. I think they end up getting something out of this anyway. I can't get that. I can't beat him off the dribble, pass on movement. Jimmy, like,
once you see Max coming baseline, that little area on the floor is wide open right there for Jimmy to slide over.
He's got to lift his left, like he's got to get his feet outside of that defender's feet because the way he should have been able to just slide up into it was kind of inaccessible. The way that he had himself pinned, but like move before. Duncan, ways to keep coming into that. That's a good shot. Shout out to Duncan. Like, I'm happy he's been, I don't know, it's only been 2 games, but like it's nice to see him on the floor. You can go to the next one, Frankie. Oh, you could have kept talking about Duncan, Tiff. I was just
queuing up. No, it is. And that's the thing. Until there's something that happens, activity as far as movement with players, this is who you got. So you want to see Duncan out there.
Start this one again, Frankie. So Tyler off the ball. Pause. So you have a screen away happening. Love this for us. Screening away with Tyler on ball screen, not really centered. Go ahead. Enough space. Up, psych. Make this a stagger. That's a fine loop, Tyler. Whatever. I don't have to cut. I'm out. I'm out of there. Pause. Tyler leaves. Like, it's just, Mr. Orlando over here. Go ahead. Empty side by himself. Jimmy fakes to the post up here, draws in causing attention, drawing attention. Max is wide open on the wing, and then this is a good rebound. Tyler, that's a good in the pump fake, but just motion activity. And so I don't know if shots like that are sustainable. And then you can take me off, Frankie.
Right.
I don't know if shots like that are necessarily sustainable, but the motion in which to get to good looks on the ball and is there.
Right. No, I agree. I think that this is what it's going to have to be. They're going to have to figure out ways. They're going to have to just figure out ways to make it work. Like, there's no other way. But I wanted to quickly talk about Orlando because
love him.
I mean, he put his imprint on the game. What did you see from him that you liked?
Oh, we kind of just touched on him a little bit in the first clip. Like, he has a really, really keen defensive understanding for a big man. He's mobile. He's aware of his mobility and his length. He's quick enough that he knows that he can use it, but he also leverages his length really well with regard. Like, they played, a good amount of drop with him tonight. And maintaining like that good cushion, but was still able to contest, backpedaling smoothly. Like he moves well. He offers them some stoutness up front. Live, active. He shot the corner three. I think he airballed it, but I'm not mad at that. If you have it, you have it. And so I just like a lot about him. Solid, but solid in the way that they need, and that is kind of hard to find in a big man. It's either a really, really lanky wing, or like, I guess, someone cumbersome who doesn't really fit what they want to do. And so to have found that, or have pieces of it, and like maybe you can build that up all the way into what you wanted, is a good little place to start.
Right. I also think he played with like limited turnovers. You know what I'm like? I think he only had like one or two, which to me is very good for a young dude who just got called up, and he played significant minutes tonight, way more than he played in the last game, and he contributed tonight. Like, he wasn't just on the court for being a big body. He was in the actions. He got points. He got rebounds. You saw him talking to the guys. You saw the guys coaching him up mid-game. So, I mean, because where do you go? Because we don't know how long it'll take for Yurt. 2 turnovers. Yeah, like that's a good night. You don't know how long it's going to take for Yurt to come back off surgery. And, how many games in a row can Dedmon actually play with that bad foot?
Yeah. Like plantar fascia, man, it's so uncomfortable.
Right.
What, 9-6, 3-3-2 in 36 minutes plus 11. That's Orlando. That's good. Like, that's solid. That's really good for them.
Yeah. So I
and
like,
active in doing it.
Yes. Will they keep him up? Will they keep him in the, like, I have no idea what's going to happen. It seems like they keep sending players down, calling them up. So I have no idea how he remains, unless Dedmon is just going to be, resting the next like 4 or 5 games. And then obviously you're going to have to keep this guy up because you have no one behind Bam. And tonight you didn't even have Bam.
Yeah, I think you keep him up, and then you're going to get Bam back. The Drew call up happens when they're short, too many damn point guards.
Well,
and so
he got cut.
Kyle. Well, right. So, but he got cut to bring Orlando back. That's what I'm saying. I think that they keep Orlando for a little bit. There's no need. There's no reason not to. Kyle is not hurt. He's resting, which he deserves. We don't know what Gabe's status is. That's unfortunate. And Vic is back and continuing to get into a lather. So I think that they might feel that they are okay. And Tyler, needing playmaking on ball reps mixed with some off ball stuff. I think that they feel like they're okay, or they should feel all right a little bit, I guess, in the guard spot. Just keep Orlando.
Let's Frankie, put up that comment by Sandwich. We always talk about Tyler in the bench, but what about Kyle in the bench? We've seen him playing well when most of the starters were out last season. I mean, he's the only point guard we have available. That's number one. He's the only guard that's been healthy all season. That's number two. Number three, he ain't going to the bench. I don't like. It's not gonna happen. So I don't really know like what to say, because he's not going to the bench. Spo ain't doing it. It ain't happening.
Okay, let's say the world where he did. Now give me your views about that. Tiff, I'm asking you.
If he went to the bench, I'm fine with it. If you told me now we're having a discussion. I'm not endorsing Kyle to the bench. Oh, exactly.
Maybe I might actually, but I just if he were able to, or if he were willing and accepting to, what do you think that does for them?
Without like all right. So look at it this way. Gabe is injured. So let's say Gabe is still injured. You still don't have a facilitator who can get things where they need to be on the court without a real point guard. So if you just put him to the bench, well, I'm operating if Victor is still on the bench.
But he wouldn't still be on the bench. So like that's the thing. If Kyle Wirtz. Okay, so Kyle Wirtz is
But
going to bench.
but
Who
see,
would be
that's the
starting
thing
from?
about Spo. Vic would probably still be on the bench.
So who's starting? I don't.
But that's my point.
Who's,
You don't have anyone. Like he doesn't. I don't think he wants to start Vic. So you don't have
that's
anyone.
fine. Okay,
Like you
so
just
I'm going to
don't.
entertain the question. You fine. I'm going to entertain the question. I don't know. I'm not calling for it. The point in the comment, when a lot of this starters, when Jimmy and Bam were out last season, that is when you saw Kyle and the G Leaguers or Kyle
Right.
and 5 bench guys. And throughout that series, like you did, like Kyle, his scoring was really high and kind of stable, and his assist numbers were good. Like Kyle is a ball mover, and so playing off of energy and off of like some side to side, but still some forward movement kind of works for him. And if you don't want to start Vic, fine. If Kyle isn't going, but I'm just operating in this kind of what if, this hypothetical. You get Kyle on the bench, you help stabilize. Right. Kyle isn't going to start, but he might come out early and play a role with the bench mob. They still have to let that experiment continue, finishing with what they're doing with it with Tyler. But yeah, that is a thing that could happen. But you have Vic with the starters. You have Vic, Bam, directional, like pick and roll. You have vertical, like rim pressure. You have ability and all of that. And so I think that it could work. I don't know that you see it happen.
Right.
I don't know that they necessarily needed to, but could it and would it help? I believe so. But again.
And for me, I'd prefer a healthy Gabe start then and not Vic.
Fair. That's fine too.
See, that's how I look at it. I would prefer the healthy Gabe and Kyle come off the bench with Vic.
Okay. Why?
Because I trust Gabe next to Tyler until I see more of Vic and Tyler. Which I mean, I got a feeling it's coming in like three games. We'll see more. We're gonna see more of the combination, but I just need to see more of it.
That's what a lot of stuff hinges on. Can these two make it work?
Yes, because they made it work for 2 games, but we need to see it.
Right.
We need to see it more. All right, so it's funny because we're talking about Vic. Let's discuss one of the problems this team keeps running into: youth and athleticism.
Screaming.
The youth part, we could go, all right. But the athleticism that we keep facing every night and we have no counter.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about that.
So this is so funny. So what's the movie? The Longest Yard. You remember that movie?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so you know how like it was just Nelly and don't make this correlation that like black people are only athletes. That's not the point. That's not that at all. Don't be trying to draw that. But so like Nelly was the only, for the main group or whatever. They had to go recruit and they went and they got all the athletes. And then like you don't need like an overwhelming kind of amount of just shit like that on a basketball court. But what you do need is kind of bodily ability to be able to, I don't know, manipulate your body and just like to make something happen energetically, like in a forward or kind of like impactful way that other people might not otherwise be able to do kind of in the same way that you can. It's I don't know, an athlete is a lot of things, but quick agility, burst, excitement, length. It's hard to be lanky and like still be coordinated. Like that shit gotta travel all the way down there. But it's still basketball. Like they're to act as if like athletes don't contribute or like just that there's just no need, no use when you see the like advantage of it. I just like and in a league that's getting younger, that's getting more athletic, that's getting quicker. You need people that can keep up. You need people that can defend and that people that can blow by people who can supposedly defend.
Right. And I think for me, like, there's just two things that are glaring about this team. One, what we look like on the fast break,
Okay.
not necessarily great. And
Okay.
two, we're boring.
Yeah.
We're boring. Like,
Yep.
let's be like, so for me, it's like if I'm watching all these games, it's nice to see a team get out on the break. You got no
Yes,
brothers
I
out
saw
there.
this
That's
earlier.
it.
Yeah, what was
We,
they was
we
talking
got
about look, they was equating this to the Jackson State boys showing up in Colorado, like, all right, we here now, just taking over the whole little program or whatever.
exactly.
But you ain't got no brothers. You need somebody
Right.
that Tyler's slick athletic, but like the only above average, yeah, Bam, Caleb, and
Yes.
Kane. That is it. Tyler is slick athletic, but
Right.
like it don't translate in the same way.
Exactly.
Max is less slick
He's
athletic than
sneaky.
Tyler.
Max is sneaky athletic.
And the league that's getting younger and more athletic, we start in UD. Come on, man.
I mean,
It's fine, whatever. Do your things. I don't know.
listen, better start him than Jimmy at the 5. That's my only thing. Rather start him than
Sure.
Jimmy. Like, this
Sure.
is, I mean, I'm trying to make it good here. I'm trying to,
Yeah, you
trying
are.
to keep it positive.
You are.
What is that? Young, who is that?
Young Ticonderoga. The pencil. Young pencil.
All right.
Go ahead. How'd you feel about the UD minutes? Personally, I enjoyed his work in the post. He was good in spots to score, just couldn't complete it. He also signed Sengun. I must have missed that last part. How'd you feel about
UD?
UD's
I
minutes?
mean, I didn't feel
Genuinely like I didn't notice them, but like I was
was
watching
right.
everything else.
But I also didn't. But it also wasn't like glaring where I was disappointed. You know, it was like he did his job. Like, he wasn't like giving you 50.
As far as I'm
He
concerned,
wasn't right. Like, you needed a center, and he actually came out and did what he was supposed to do. He didn't get in the way of the offense. You know, he did get that tech, but
he had 6 fouls. Tell them Carla Tiana.
exactly. That's it. That's all we needed. Somebody with 6 fouls who knew the offense, who didn't get in the way of the offense.
He ate up the minutes without being a disaster.
That's it.
And I'm not even trying to minimize him as like that's all that we can hope to get out of him, but like I don't have any
Right. There's no
amount of
expectations
faith,
at this point.
right. So I don't
Right.
necessarily, I'm gonna push in there and joke about it. It's right. List of players with consecutive 9+ threes. Harden, Steph, Hero. That's it. Push the narrative. I'm joking, but he's rare. What he's done in 3 games. Yeah, no. Like,
Yeah, it is rare. I would never push a narrative that has Harden in it.
that's fair.
Like, I'm not
I
doing that.
guess. That's fine. I understand.
But yes, we appreciate what Hero's doing. I love what Steph has done. Harden, I mean, I don't know. I don't like time travelers. I don't like team hoppers. I don't like time travelers. Like, at some point, find a team and stick with it. He time travels. He gets fat so he could get traded, and then all of a sudden 3 weeks later, he dancing on poles and he's skinny again. He time traveling. I'm not here for that.
Get somewhere and sit down. Which
Sat
one do y'all
down.
want? Sit down somewhere. Which one would y'all want as a backup big, Robinson or Yurt?
It's hard to say because, like, I didn't even. When's the last time I saw Yurt in action? Y'all, I don't know. Since Jesus was a baby, we ain't seen Yurt.
Answer the rest of this. Who is the other 4 starting with Robinson? And then maybe I can who's the other 4 starting with Yurt? Like, give me the whole lineup. Come back in some minutes. Give me those whole lineups, and then maybe
that's it. That's it.
What else did you like tonight, Tiff?
Yurt
is a myth at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Yurt is a myth at this point. What did I like? I like.
Could have used him this year.
They could still use him. They could still use him. I like that they won. I like that sometimes when you down and out, you just got to dig yourself out the hole, and that's just what they doing. It's not going to be pretty. I already told y'all it was boring. They just got to dig themselves out the hole and keep finding ways to win until they are whole and they can try to like see what these units look like.
Yeah.
But you know, we got to talk about something that stresses me out every Heat game. Our end of
What's
the
that?
game woes. Every time we at the end of the game.
Listen, I say pressure bust pipe, and ain't
Yeah.
too much, more stronger pressure than a winding game clock. Hard to be in Time Lord is not a theory I thought I subscribed to, but makes sense. Um, yeah, the second half, like there was just a lot of unnecessary kind of uncanny turnovers, shit that wasn't happening in the first half. And it like never kind of slowed down. They just were able to continue to score enough to like outlast it. Houston made like a hell of a run. Defensively, they have to get some gruff about them, at the end of
Right.
games. They didn't have Kyle, didn't have Bam. I understand that. But like, I don't
The
know.
execution.
Houston's run was a bit too for if there were 3 more minutes in that game, I think Miami might have lost it. So like
Yeah.
they have to tighten up as the season continues to progress.
Do you think part of the lack of motion on offense, at least partially, be attested to them being undersized and shorthanded consistently? And you just said it. That's it. They're
Oh,
undersized.
absolutely.
They're shorthanded. Um, and this is every single night. Like
Yeah.
that's a problem.
They're undersized and they're short, undersized. Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I'm not even going to do that because there are other ways to be undersized. You're
Right.
absolutely correct. Yeah, so they are both of those things, though, right? They are short and are undersized. And up until recently, is trying to come into it more, even with Tyler and the rest of them. Kyle's turning the corner a bit. When you are undersized, you don't have like a direct kind of target that you can throw it
Mm-hmm.
into on some just stop still, post it up type. And so it kind of makes it difficult. And so yeah, like it's difficult to kind of scheme for offense that requires a particular type of player or whatever. I'm talking about just like motion creation, all of that. And like you don't necessarily have it, you can't stay healthy. And so when you think you do have it, it's taken from you, and now you got to shuffle
Right.
again. And so, I believe their offense to continue to juice as more of the players continue to stay um as more of them continue to stay healthy and in the
Right.
rotation and right able to be played with. Thank you, Carl Tiana, you're so sweet. um but they have to have the people available to do that, or you
Right.
you just don't know.
Right.
And so yes, answer the long-winded way of saying yes. I'm sorry.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, what do you? I mean, because you and I talked in the off season about this team and the injuries. Like we talked about it and we knew that like you're gonna have players who were gonna at some point be on the Kawhi Leonard plan. So how do you dig yourself out of this hole and try to sustain some sort of level of confidence and to try to keep winning games when you know on any given night you're going to be without a possible three guys?
Okay, so Frankie, I want you to come off mute, let the people hear you. I'm gonna set it up and then you take it over. I think the
I don't
not
think
the
he can.
problem. No,
No.
Frankie, you can't hop in here. Okay, well,
Oh,
God
there we
damn
go. Okay.
it.
yay!
Yeah.
Oh, you could have just did your voice. I
Yeah,
I
you
don't know
didn't
how
did.
to
even
do
mean to
that.
Oh,
disturb you.
okay.
Brass and G haven't taught me that part of the lesson.
So toward the end of last season, right? You said it often, and I think you were the first one to say it, and it stuck with me the entire time. Like that, in order for the rest of this offense to kind of grow, cohere, mature, and all of that, it's going to be. They need to see like a lot of extended minutes and like active time with Bam Tyler as kind of the focal. From Tyler from a playmaking standpoint, Bam from just a filling out the whole rest of the game, and that while they figure that shit out, we needed to have been anticipating and ready for some ugly games and some shit that like, oh, we should have beat them. Well, yeah, we should have, but we're still figuring a lot of shit out.
Right.
Yeah, too much of their development has been safe. It's like
Mhm.
what they can do now to help the team win and reach the team that season's maximum potential. It's like Tyler's really good at catch and shoot. So we need Tyler to just catch and shoot. And that's all Tyler does this season. Bam
Right.
is really good at the lobs. Let's just throw him lobs. He doesn't do anything else. And then slowly, as injuries go, you give him a little bit more of the leash to make some decisions. And as Rohan discussed with Bam in his article for Sports Illustrated, which definitely go read and listen to the pod he did with G. That can be frustrating as a player at times. And I think this team is capped out. There's not a lot of external development that they're going to get with roster construction unless they get really lucky that some team just wants their picks or wants some of their expirings. They're going to have to build from within, and that's gonna and these guys, the ceiling of this team and for the future, you need to know how big of a future Tyler and Bam can do, how if you can divulge a whole offense to them, if Tyler wants to be in that conversation with Trey and stuff, can he handle that workload? Can the defense focus in on them? We've seen times when defense starts throwing looks at them and throwing that attention to them. We've seen them both look really uncomfortable, and that's important. They need to get uncomfortable. There is no growth in comfort. If they're just gonna be steady and safe, they're not gonna get better as players. And this is part of their development. Not all these guys are not finished products like Dwayne Wade and just gonna get better as he gets more comfortable in the league. Like they have to develop their skill sets.
You know what you understand too, as a player, and I think kind of just as a person, right? That like, when you ask for more, like you're talking about, you have to show that you can like successfully integrate that first chunk of more that you've asked for, or at least me. Like I find myself like I want, do a lot of shit or whatever. And so like you end up not doing anything by trying to do everything kind of all at once. So like you make the one jump shot or whatever, and now like that space is taken from you. And so I don't have, like, I kind of know what I need to do to go from here, but I haven't like drilled it. I haven't, put in enough trying to game time situations. So I think, I don't know if that was intentional or whatever with Spo and Bam, but I feel like, it may be good for him. Like, okay, I know that and we all know that you are kind of this Swiss Army knife. We know that you can do other things. Not that I'm trying to protect you from yourself, but like, let's just add the things piecewise, but steadily get them good and grounded and integrated before we go ahead and add in some other stuff. So I think you see that with the jump shot and with some of the, like dribble drive stuff. And then so as he progresses, as he continues to master the things that he's already kind of working on adding, then I think you continue to see him blossom and open up the rest of it that he can also probably do really well.
And you need to find sustainable things like John Jablanca, shout out to him, but he's done a lot of breakdowns on this, and he's been real skeptical. And I think it's worth noting that what he's saying in like a lot of their stuff isn't necessarily sustainable. Like we saw Bam fall in love with the little charge circle jumper fadeaway. Like, that's nice. It's great that he can hit that consistently. Where's the defensive focus? Like he's getting to the rim. Tyler getting to the rim, like getting fouled, like getting the defensive attention. We haven't seen enough of that. I love these last two games from Tyler because, we talked about this in the chat as well. They've kind of settled in at Tyler over the last few years as, okay, you're going to score, go score. And not enough has been, we need to stop this guy from fucking scoring. And when they've thrown that attention at him, he's been. We saw it in the playoffs. He was very uncomfortable.
Before you keep going, why does that matter, Frankie? What's the difference? Because it's easy to say, well, either way, he's still scoring. The points are still accumulating. Why does it matter between like, fine, go do what the fuck you want to do or whatever, and like we have to stop this guy from trying to do what he wants to do?
It's the difference between having a 28th ranked offense and a top 10 offense. And if you want to win championships, you need to have a great offense. You need a top 10 offense. You can't float around with the shit. It needs to open up things because that attention makes things easier for those undrafted guys, those role players, those guys who live off of other guys' work.
Right.
And Tyler's great at creating his own shot, but him extending out to the 3-point line is going to send more attention out to him. And if he can, I don't know if he can sustain this many attempts. That's great. It's crazy. Like Tiff said, no, Steph isn't shooting 17 threes a game. But if he can sustain efficiency from three and get that attention and leverage that into open shots for his teammates, the rim shots, that's what's going to open up all the attention.
But how do you do all of this and win?
It's a mixture. Tyler and Bam have to learn the balance between playmaking and scoring. We've seen them, we've talked ad nauseum about Bam being more aggressive. We've talked about Tyler being more unselfish. There's a balance to it. It shouldn't be premeditated. It shouldn't be like, okay, now I'm going to just score, be aggressive, look for my shot. It's what I need to be able to manipulate the defense to what I want and open things up aggressively. When my shot's there, I take it. When my shot isn't there, I got to pass it up and get the best look for the team. And they haven't found that balance yet, but I think this season is important to get that balance.
I feel like I'm trying to be quick. I feel like for Bam, it's just a continued assertion of everyone has to touch and agree, first of all, on what our offensive priorities should be.
Yep.
That has to be the first thing that happens before anything can be sustained. We all need to know what the fuck we're trying to do. What are we trying to accomplish? First, second, third, and then maybe fourth, and whatever we're trying to, do in that particular set or whatever. And so
that starts with Spo.
I'm of the mindset. Yes, it does start with Spo, and I'm of the mindset that should kind of be built around the dude who can. Bam, basically, I'm not even going to get into kind of all of it. Like, I'm playing closer to the rim. I am dynamic. I'm your stretch of big. I am your piece of athleticism. I'm your defensive anchor. I'm all of this shit. Like, the offense should start with me too. Let me suck some shit in, make some space for you. Yeah, gravitational pull, but we talk about gravity with shooters and this idea that gravity can only be created in the perimeter. That is not true. You create it. So what we call gravity on the perimeter, we call collapsing the defense for people on the inside. It's the same shit. You're creating the pull in whatever direction. And so Miami has far too often just gone away from the basket. We're trying to do that rather than going toward it and seeing how that opens up the whole rest of the shit, like playing from outside in rather than inside out, thinking that we're going to be able to accomplish the same result, but like the energy don't work that way.
Right. And it's funny because we talked, the three of us, it was the three of us mainly talking about you're going to take a lot of lumps this season. Like this is just,
and you have to deal with it. This is healthy lumps.
Yeah, but it's also like people want more than what they can have right now. Like they're thinking all these other things should be happening within the team, and it's like, how? This is you have players in and out. You got you have so many different lineups that if we're seeing Bam and Tyler grow, this might be what your season is.
Mm-hmm.
Like
your future. Your future.
Exactly. Yeah. Like
stay in the contention area, get yourself to the playoffs, and then you get more time in between. Then you do that fight. But like getting there, gravity is working against me. Getting there, this might be what you look like, and how Tyler helps that. Continue to pick your spots in the way that he is. Have your burst of pop, like scoring throughout the game. When it gets stagnant, whatever, go. When motherfuckers need a bucket toward the end, hey, you go do that. But while we're trying to get the whole collective of this thing going, like I need you to play with your teammates.
Right. Because the goals are simple. Every team, except for probably like the Hornets, go into the season saying we're gonna win the championship, right? Because I mean, let's be honest. But like only one person can win. Only one team can win. So everybody else is working towards something. You might be working towards the top pick in the draft. you might be working you might be working towards 4 different trades.
Shit.
But the Heat have 2 young guys who, for better or for worse, we're looking at and saying, okay, Is this your building block? Is this your new building block? Is this who you go forward with? And the reality is there's probably no chip this season. This season might just be dedicated to future earnings.
Jimmy will tell you it is. They asked Jimmy like recently.
And I love Jimmy for that.
Like a championship. All right.
I love Jimmy for that. But where I live at, on the planet I live at, I'm looking at it and
reality check master.
The planet I'm living on, I'm looking at it and saying, we're developing talent at a high rate right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, this is, and guess what? If, playoff wins come with it, I love it. But at the end of the day, they have to figure out who and what this team is. We got Jimmy, and I love Jimmy. Bless Jimmy and his delusions.
Not delusions, child.
I love Jimmy, but like, they need to know what this team is, like you said. They need to know who we're playing through. What are we doing? What type of offense are we running? Who are we as a team? Like, these are all the questions that if you watch them, there's no answers. But if you turn and you watch, I don't know, and I won't even pick Golden State. I'll pick like Brooklyn as of late. They're creating an identity in Brooklyn. If you haven't looked, like they've crept up the standings, all of a sudden they're doing things. There's no more noise around them. Nobody's cracking Ben Simmons jokes.
Right.
KD ain't as ashy as he was on Tuesday. Like,
dang.
And real quick,
peas ain't quite as peasy.
Exactly.
His hair's a little bit more brushed.
Exactly. Like they're quietly putting it together.
It ain't a wave. It's a little ripple, though.
Girl, that's a puddle. Bloop.
Drip.
Drip.
But to get back onto the Heat, on this win, they get back to 500.
Yep.
They're in the 8th spot right now, half game up on Atlanta. They're on top of their division, right behind Indiana, half game behind Indiana. So and only 1 game behind the Knicks of getting out of the play-in. So they can turn this season around. We've talked a lot about them getting like making the most out of this season, like for the future, for the playoffs and stuff. Because Tyler and Bam, I think we all agree their development matters for that time. But if they get healthy, there is a lot that can be dependent on. But I think we also have to note how much their play has to improve.
Yes,
these wins, these squeaking by wins.
Yes,
it's not going to cut it.
No.
Who do we have next?
Who's the next opponent? Let's wrap up with a little
Spurs.
of a. So we're playing them again.
Spurs on Saturday, and that's the Mexico City game.
Spurs on Saturday. Today's Thursday.
I feel like
I would assume Kyle would be back because he's just resting.
Yeah.
Keldon
This is their chance to get their longest winning streak of the season at 4.
Okay.
And get above 500.
Okay.
We're 15.
So how do you guys see that game going?
Oh, girl, I don't know. I don't watch enough Spurs. Shout out to Keldon though, 757 little baby, and he's hooping. So
yeah,
I think they have to learn to stop playing with their food too.
Yeah, yes,
that too.
You're not good enough to play with your food. Like,
no,
don't do that. See, that's the disrespectful shit. The guys don't like that. You should. I'm letting you win this game. Go ahead and win this game.
I'm trying to throw this ass at you. You better take it.
You better catch it. So I'm gonna stop. Hey,
the Spurs was backing it up all night.
The lights is about to get cut on. I'm about to stop. Bro. You better catch it.
I think you hope that they learn their lesson from the last game and they go in and what did you call it? A professional win. That's what they need.
God.
They need professional wins. Go in here, zip it up, surgical, no wasted motions.
Yep.
Not a bunch of bullshit on the face, not too much playing around. Get in, get out. We on the way.
Right. I mean, listen, Pop ain't trying to win. So
no.
What y'all trying to do?
How you get fired on your day off? How you lose to somebody that's not trying to win?
How you lose to somebody that got Velcro on their shoes?
Cut it out. Take me out.
Oh no. They lost the girl to the guy that didn't want her. That's what this has been. A lot of these losses have been like that. You're trying so hard for that get that girl to dance with you, and she's ignoring you. these wins are ignoring.
Oh
These wins are ignoring us.
These wins are going. Okay. Okay.
Not you.
Not you.
Behind you.
Right?
The heat are trying, and they're sending green text bubbles.